go again. Trying hard, but you wanna be my friend.
Hey guys, so I'm gonna show you guys how I made this wig, how I use a sewing machine to construct the wig and complete everything using the sewing machine and my hand. So let's get straight into the video. So right now I'm showing you guys the bundles that I'll be using. This is three 26-inch bundles that I will be using to make this wig today. As you can see, I have the wig cap there. This wig cap is a make your own wig dome cap, and this is the white one, so it's optional. You can use the white or the black. As I'm showing you here, I'm doing a measurement there from the where the cap is to the front of the lace, because you need to do that to bring it down just a little bit, like an inch down. So I'm just showing you guys. So I did a little plait in the front of the hair, so I took the hair out of the way. Right now I'm showing you guys the needle and the thread. The thread that I'm using is a nylon thread, which is a white nylon thread also. Because we're doing this color here, it's you would want to use the clear thread instead of a black thread. Right now what I'm doing a measurement from the back. So this is the measurement where I will make the lines for the sewing machine. So I just wanted them like one inches apart. Sometimes if I had more bundles, I would do them like smaller or closer. But for this, because I'm using only 3 bundles, I made them 1 inches apart, as you can see what I'm doing right now. So I'm just completely drawing the lines to each corner. They don't have to be necessarily straight, but you just wanted to get them as accurate as possible. I haven't gotten the hang of drawing the line straight, but it's something that I'm working on. I think by now I'm getting better at it. But it doesn't necessarily has to be perfect. You just want to draw the lines to make sure that each line they're going all the way to the front. And then for the top part, you are going to see where I stopped bringing them all the way around, because I wanted to get a little bit more space to the corner, so that when I remember, this is a closure, not a frontal, so I want to go all the way around to each side so that the bundles are brought around to the side, to where the front to where the closure is, sorry. And then I made some small lines now and go straight across, because in the middle those are the places where I'll be placing the single tracks, so I won't be double wefting up there. I'll just place single tracks up at the top right there, and around there that you see me put my fingers, I'll just put 1 row. So what I'm doing right now, I'm gonna cut away that excess cap. I don't need that, you don't need that, so you cut away that before you start to construct the wig on your sewing machine. Or even if you were doing it by hand, you would still want to cut away that cap. You don't need it. This is a transparent lace that I'm using, so we didn't bleach the knots or anything like that, so you don't need to do that. So these are the weft. I'm gonna sew each weft together, because who got time? We don't have time to be putting them in single tracks, so you don't do that. You sew all the wefts together so that it's easier to put in. So I'm gonna sew all of them together. So if you don't know how to use a sewing machine, then I'm gonna try to do a video showing you guys how I string it, or what do you call it, put the thread in or anything like that. This sewing machine that I'm using, a Singer, as you can see on the front there. So I just place the wefts underneath it, and then I'd use the foot press, and I just gradually just go through. Sometimes it stops by itself. I get a little bit of a problem, but the only thing I do is just lift it, take it out. If it needs to be retread, then I also do that. So if it is that you definitely need to learn how to use the sewing machine, I could definitely do a video on that as well. on how to use the sewing machine to definitely make the wig, like thread the machine and everything like that. So I'm doing it the same thing. It's basically it's repetitive. So you want to do that for all of the bundles. You do want to leave like some single ones where you're going to put at the top, but what I did sew everything together, and then I went back to remove all, like I went back to just open one of them because I did sew everything together, and then I open one of them and then cut it open and then use the single wefts. So I just put a piece of the hair to the back, and then I go through as usual as you see me doing the front portions. At the end of each weft though, you can cut the ends, or you can just simply um, if you want to let it stay together, you can just use the back stitch. You're gonna see me use the back stitch to get everything together, like to get to lock it, to lock the stitches at the end when you're done sewing, because you want to do that because you don't want it to pull out while you're gonna sew down the tracks on the cap that you'll be using. So yeah, so you see me do it there. Yes, so I held down that thing right there in front of me. That's to do the back stitch, and then there you have it. So now we're gonna place each one right where you have each line. You're gonna place the hair right on that, and you want to go under the machine, put it there. You want to make sure that it's under right where the line is, and you put down the thing on the machine. I can do a video showing you guys definitely how to do all of that for the machine. This video is just basically showing you guys how I construct the hair on it, but I can do a more in detail video of how to use the sewing machine as well and do it more closer. Yeah, so when I finish there, I just lift it. I do a back stitch right there because you want to lock everything in, and then you want to lift it, and then you're going to cut the hair. At the end of that, you are going to cut the hair, cut the thread, and then you're going to cut off the piece of hair right there. Yes, right at the end, and then you're going to do the same thing. Repeat that process again one more time. You're going to just go over that again. So as you can see me there doing, I'm going to place the hair on it again, and then I'm just going to do it over. So it's the same thing. You just continue. You cut off the extra pieces of threads because you know that threads will be all over the place. So you want to lift the cap up, cut off all the excess pieces of threads that you might have there, and then you just go again. So the next line is the same thing again. Put it under, drop that upper up down thing. I don't know what's the name of it. So you just put that thing down, and you want to put it back under, and you just go again. Just if you don't know how to use the machine that well, you can just practice. Practice makes perfect. So that's what I did. I practiced to use the machine first before I started to make hair on the sewing machine. So definitely once you have the machine, you just want to practice how to like with some random pieces of cloth, you just want to put it under there and test it out. Test out everything on the machine before you start to make your wigs on it, because it is a bit complicated when you just start, but once you get the hang of it, it definitely will be easier. Okay guys, so as you can see there, continue to do the same thing. I just cut off the excess pieces of thread, and then I go back right in, start at the end again, and we're gonna go under again. You want to be careful with this also. You want to make sure that, because there's a little closed space between the machine and where your hand will be, so you want to make sure that each time you're going through this, you want to move the cap out the way, because it's easy for the cap to stitch together. Yeah, really easy. It has happened to me a lot when I just started. So you just want to make sure that you're always moving the cap out of the way, because you don't want to stitch down the cap on the hair or the hair on the cap on where it's not placed properly. So you just want to make sure that you're watching where the cap is, so that it don't stitch down as well while you're doing it. So you want to make sure that you moving the cap out of the way to do this part. Yeah, so you just continue to do the same thing until you get all the way to the top where you want to do the single weft. What I did when I was going to do the single weft, when I'm ready to do the single weft, I take it off, I put it on a mannequin head, a canvas head, and then I did the single weft with my hand. It was very hard to do the single weft with the machine because there was a lot of hair in the way, and I never wanted to mess it up, so I just moved the cap out. I just moved it out the way. So I just took it off and put it somewhere where I could see it more, where I could see it properly, and then I did it. It was giving me a little problem there, so that's when I decided to do the single wefts off the machine and on a canvas. Yeah, so basically when I was all the way to the top, this is the part where I think I took it out because there was a lot of hair at the top. So I just decided, right there to just use my hand to do the top part where I did single wefts to complete the wig. So as you can see, that's what I'm doing there. So I cut open the tracks that I had double wefted before, and then I just went in using the needle and thread that I had earlier to complete it off the sewing machine, because it was easier to do it like that. So basically we're just doing some single tracks here. So this is the first one that I did, and I just continue to do this until I'm all the way to the front where you see the last line, and then I put an extra track around the closure. Yeah, so you basically just continue to do the same thing, and then when you're at the end, you just cut the weft and then start over at the other line and do the same thing. Yes, so I'm at the end right now, so I'm just cutting the weft right there, and then I'm going to go to the second piece again, the other piece. I just continue to sew it within the where you see the next line right there. And remember, at this point, you want to make sure that the wefts are close together, and you want to make sure that they're sewing down nice and flat. You want to make sure that it's flat as possible. Also remember that you're doing single wefts because you don't want it to be bulgy at the top where the closure will lay down. Where the closure is, close by the closure, you don't want there to be bulge because you will see the bulginess at the top of your wig whilst it is on your head, and you don't want that. So you want to make sure that everything is nice and close and flat. As you see me there wrapping the thread 3 times around it. It does get a little bit hard to do that, but you want to do that to make sure that you're securing the end of the weft. So that's what you see I was doing, where I was wrapping the thread around the needle just to tie it, so it gives it a tie at the end, so it's much easier to go along while you're sewing down each track. And you want to just continue this process until you're all the way at the front when you finish everything. So you just continue to do the same thing around the closure, the same exact thing. Just continue to do that, and then when you're done, it should look nice and flat and laid. Yeah, so this is the finished look, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment, and also share. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Thank you for watching. Until next time, take care.